She's not in many of the videos. I feel like lately she's been in a lot though. What? I took a bath today. You're fine. I took a shower already. Stop. So this is Bella Boo. What, Jelly Bean? If you're jealous, come here. Come on, Boo Boo. Come on, Bean. Okay, fine. Just me and Bella time. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing round 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Round 7 of Declutter With Me. This is Thriller Shelf 1. Next week will be Thriller Shelf 2. And then we'll finally be on my favorites. Come here. Oh. So this baby girl is here. We're going to enjoy Bella for a minute just because she's not usually in the videos. Right? Right, baby girl? Are you a baby? Who's mama? Oh, she's mama. I'm mommy. Alright, go lay down, baby. So, book number 1 is The Starter Wife by Nina Lauren. I have bought so many Nina Lauren books that I can't count, solely based on the author because I've heard that she's a really good author. I'm going to stop doing that though. I just want books that I'm excited for. So we are going to pretend it's not by Nina Lauren, which I don't know. We're going to cover up the author. And I'm going to read just the synopsis to determine if I want to keep this one or not. And if it was like a Dean Koontz thing again, where I just am like, oh, well, it's by Dean Koontz, so I'll love it, which isn't true, by the way. Or it's by Nina Lauren, so I'm supposed to love it. Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're only going to keep the ones that I'm legitimately excited for. This is scary. Alright. Local police have announced that they're closing the investigation of the suspected drowning of 37-year-old painter Colleen Westcott. She disappeared on April 11th, 2010, and her car was found parked near the waterfront in Cleveland 2 days later, but her body has never been found. The chief of police has stated that no concrete evidence of foul play has been discovered in the probe. I closed the online search window, annoyed. These articles never have enough detail. They think my husband's first wife disappeared, or they think she is dead. There's a big difference. My phone rings, jarring me away from my thoughts, and when I pick it up, it's an unknown number. The only answer to my slightly breathless hello is empty static. When the voice does finally come, it's female, low, muffled, somehow. Where is it, Claire? What did you do with it? Tell me where it is. A woman, a real flesh and blood woman on the other end of the phone. She's not just in my head. A wave of panic spreads under my skin like ice water. It's Colleen. What? I'm keeping that for sure. Blood Will Tell by April Henry. Again, I bought 2 April Henry books purely based on the fact that it's April Henry, and I've heard so many people talk about this author. So let's see if this is something. Although, based on the cover, it's a freaking great cover. So, what happens when someone who's only ever wanted to be a hero becomes a suspect. When a woman's body is found in a vacant lot, suspicion falls on an awkward teen who lives only a few blocks away. Owns several knives, loves first-person shooter video games, and doodles violent scenes in his school notebook. Nick Walker goes from being a member of a search and rescue team to the prime suspect in a murder. That sounds pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep that one too. Before we get too far into this video, I do want to say that thriller is probably my most read genre, so I don't expect to get rid of very many, if any, on this shelf. Harlan Coben, Hold Tight. This one I don't even have to read. I know what it's about, and I'm so excited for it. So I just read my first Harlan Coben book, which was Runaway. For me, it was a great thriller because it wasn't just a thriller. It had emotional ties and contemporary... I mean, I guess thrillers are contemporaries depending on what kind of thriller you read. But they can, most of my thrillers tend to be contemporaries because they happen in this world. But it had such an emotional feel and it tugged at my heartstrings. And when a thriller can tug at you like that, then you know there's something good there. These parents, Tia and Mike, have been spying on their 16-year-old son, Adam, who has been very withdrawn and very depressed lately, but his best friend just committed suicide, so you would think that it would be, you know, like normal for him to be depressed because his best friend is gone, and not only that, his best friend committed suicide. But I believe that Adam thinks that there is more than meets the eye with that story, and that his best friend didn't commit suicide. So it's him trying to prove that there's more going on than we know about. But also his parents are getting worried about him, so they're like spying on him and going through his bedroom and putting listening devices, like bugging his room, I think. Okay, let's do another Harlan Coben one. This one's Home. This one I don't know what it's about. This one was purely because of the author. For some reason, I have collected a bunch of this author, and then for a long time I wasn't reading them, but I finally read the first one. And like I said, I loved it. So, this is 10 years ago, after the high-profile kidnapping of two young boys. Only one returns home in this gripping thriller. A decade ago, kidnappers grabbed two boys from wealthy families and demanded ransom. Then went silent. No trace of the boys ever surfaced. For 10 years, their families have been left with nothing but painful memories and a quiet desperation for the day that has finally arrived. Okay, I'm kind of on the fence about this one because the premise sounds amazing, but like I have trouble with kidnapping stories. And by that I mean that I DNF all of them. Not because I want to, but because I can't handle that. Okay, I'm going to put this on the maybe pile and we'll come back to it. I know we haven't had a maybe pile in any of them yet, but this one I just don't know right now. Okay, then Still Missing by Chevy Stevens. This one is one that I'm super excited for. I've only read one thing by Chevy Stevens, but I liked it so much that I started collecting more of Chevy Stevens. It follows this real estate agent had one goal for the day, and it was to sell this house. So she was closing up her house at 5 o'clock, and she was getting ready to go home to her boyfriend, and this white van pulls up to the house, and she gets really excited. She's like, oh, well, maybe someone is late to check out the house, so it's cool. I'll leave it open for a minute. So she goes down the driveway to meet this guy in a car or in the van, and she gets taken. And then she's held captive for a year in a remote mountain cabin. And this is that story, so yeah, I'm really excited. Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell is another thriller, another author that I keep collecting, even though I haven't read her yet. Haven't read any of her books yet. But this one I am doing a buddy read with Amanda. Have no idea when. We haven't set that date up yet, but it is on hold for a buddy read, so I'm definitely keeping it. I Know You Know by Jilly McMillan. 20 years ago, 11-year-olds Charlie and Scott were murdered in the city of Bristol. Their bodies dumped near a dog racing track. A man was convicted of the crime, but decades later, questions still linger. I have learned this year that I love mysteries with the podcast element. For some reason, I don't like contemporaries with the podcast element, but in mysteries, it's one of my favorite things. So I'm keeping this. I have since read and hated that book, so I unhauled it. I'm not sure I'm going to get rid of anything. Then The Body in the Woods by April Henry. This is another author by, even though I haven't read this author before. So, Alexis, Nick, and Ruby come from very different backgrounds. Alexis has spent her life covering for her mom's mental health. Nick's bravado hides his fear of not being good enough, and Ruby just wants to pursue her eccentric interests in a world that doesn't understand her. The three teens meet when they join Portland County Search and Rescue on their first mission. They are teamed up to locate an autistic man lost in the woods. What they discover instead is a dead girl. In a friendship that will be forged in danger, fear, and courage. The three work together to find the girl's killer before one of their own becomes a victim. Yeah, I'm keeping that. A mysterious kidnapping. On a hot summer night, a scientist from the Center for Disease Control is grabbed by unknown assailants in a shopping center parking lot. The authorities are desperate to save the doctor who's vanished into thin air. Yeah, we're gonna try this one. Megan Miranda. I am unhauling both of her books. Okay. Then Heist Society by Allie Carter. But this is for young adults. That one's middle grade. This is YA, and it's about a heist. Like, committing a heist. And that's, yeah. No one does teen girl action heroes like Allie Carter. The Good Girl by Mary Kubeka. I bought this particular book because of the hype surrounding it. I know, I did it. So let's see if it sounds like a book I would be interested in. So you follow this person who is following or stalking this woman, and she goes to the bar to meet up with her on-again, off-again boyfriend, and he doesn't show up, but instead she has a one-night stand with this mysterious stranger who, instead of taking her home after their one-night stand, he kidnaps her and takes her to this secluded mountain lodge. This secluded cabin in the mountains. And there's A Killing in the Hills by Julia Keller. This is actually the first in a series, so you should be proud, Amanda. But I don't remember what it's about. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay, so this is in a small town in West Virginia where 3 elderly people are gunned down in this diner. And there's one witness who is also the child of the district attorney who is prosecuting the people or person that gunned down these people. And the DA, the mom to the kid, doesn't want their kid to be interviewed or go to court or anything. So I think she decides to hide the fact that her kid knows what happened because she doesn't want a target on her kid's back. Okay, and then Little Sister by Isabel Ashton. No one knows you better than a sister. Your dreams, your fears, your mistakes, and all your secrets. Yeah, that sounds great. The Banker's Wife by Christina Agler. This one sounds really good too. It is about this guy's plane crashes and everyone died. And this one of them is the banker. He was on the plane that crashed. He was on the plane that crashed with another woman that is not his wife, though. And the banker's wife finds out that that woman was someone he was having an affair with. And somehow he was, like, laundering money. And now the people that he was laundering money from are after him. Or after her because he's dead. And they want to get their money one way or another. So it has many different elements to it. And oddly enough, it sounds perfect. We are on Watch Me Disappear by Janelle Brown. I don't know what this one's about either. I think it's about this woman that disappears. I'm not being funny, but it was kind of funny. Come on. That sounds really good. Here and Now by Helen Beck. This is about a woman that leaves her abusive husband, only he's a cop, so she's afraid that he will find her, so she is trying to escape to California and change her identity and change her looks, but something happens in the isolated desert of Arizona where her car breaks down, and when she gets help from a cop, he recognizes her as someone missing from a different state, and go. I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile as well. Then The Lost Night by Andrea Arts. I'm gonna unhaul this one too. It sounds like a really good mystery thriller because it's about Edie who goes missing one night, and I think her friend Edie's body is found near a suicide note, and her friend doesn't believe that she committed suicide, So her friend, like 10 years later, is investigating what really happened to her. It sounds great. However, this is probably super shallow of me, but I hate books that follow like a rising star or a star or like Hollywood. This takes place in New York, but she is a rising star. Usually I don't like that, so I'm just gonna unhaul it. Then this is The Window by Amelia Brunskill. I'm very excited for this one. Plus, Michael gave it to me. So, I mean, that's not a reason to keep it. I unhauled quite a few books that Michael gave me. I'm so sorry, girl. But this one I'm actually really excited for. I don't know why I haven't read it yet. The Liars Club by Carla Buckley. The Liar's Child, not The Liars Club. Although, The Liars Club would be a very good name for a book. Especially a thriller, so. If you're an author or a writer and you want to use The Liars Club for your next book, you're welcome. On the outskirts of North Carolina's Outer Banks sits the Paradise, an apartment complex where renters never stay long enough to call the place home, and neighbors are seldom neighborly. It's ideal for Sarah, who moved there to escape a complicated past, and even her name, and rebuild a new life for herself under the radar. But Sarah cannot help but notice the family next door, especially 12-year-old Cassie and 5-year-old Boone. She hears rumors and whispers of a recent tragedy slowly tearing them apart. When a raging storm threatens, then slams the coastal community, Sarah makes a quick, bold decision. Rescue Cassie and Boone from the storm and their broken home without telling a soul. But this seemingly noble act is not without consequences, some lethal. Heck yes! But then again, if I keep this one, then I should keep this one, because they both have similar, like, things in books that I tend to like the sound of, but never actually like when I read it. It tears my heart out, which is kidnapping. But she's kidnapping to rescue her, which I've tried to read a book like that, and I couldn't do it. It breaks my heart. Kidnapping. I don't know. I'm gonna keep them both. You know what? Let's not even play. I'm gonna keep this one too. Thrillers have a special place in my heart where I have to keep them all and read them all. There was a time before Christmas that I only had a handful of thrillers left on my shelf because I read them all. And then Christmas happened, and I have went shopping a few times since Christmas, and I have a whole bookshelf full now. Oh my gosh, that scared me. I keep... House by Christina Lauren. One of my goals for this year was to read a Christina Lauren book. I have, and it wasn't this book, but I still want to keep this one. Hi, hubby.
Hi. Can they see me?
I don't know. Probably not. Is Stolen by Lucy Christopher. This is a letter from a girl that was kidnapped to her captor. So I want to read it. This is The Girl Before by J.P. Delaney. I got this because I've heard really good things about J.P. Delaney, but I have no idea what this book is about. Please make a list of every possession you consider essential to your life. The request seems odd, even intrusive, and for the two women who answer, the consequences are devastating. Lisa Jackson, Without Mercy by Lisa Jackson, I am keeping. It's about sisterhood. One sister goes to a boarding school where girls start going missing. So the older sister gets a job at that boarding school as a teacher to try and save her sister before she gets into trouble. My Sister's Grave by Robert Dagoni. So, I'm going to be honest with you here. I always forget about this book and I always forget what it's about. But every time I read it, I get super excited again. Like, every time I read the synopsis, I get super excited and I really want to read it. So, yeah, we're going to keep it. The Girl in the Red Coat by Kate Hammer. I'm keeping that one because it sounds really good. The Woman in Black by Suzanne Hill. It's a ghost story that was turned into a movie. I'm gonna unhaul it. What Was She Thinking? Notes on a Scandal by Zoe Healer. This follows a new teacher who is making friends and adjusting to being a teacher, and then she starts sleeping with a student. And I have tried to read it once. I don't know if it's the writing style or if it just sickens me so much to think a teacher would sleep with a student. And I know it happens in real life and everything, but I'm going to unhaul this one. I'm going to officially DNF it and unhaul it. I guess we'll do that one next week. So, Girls Night Out by Liz Fenton and Lisa Stank. This is one that I'm keeping. It's about a girl's getaway. One of the girls goes missing. And that's all I know. The Favorite Sister by Jessica Knoll. So, I bought two of this author's books. The other one was Luckiest Girl Live, which I read and hated. I thought I was for sure thinking that I would love this author. So I have no idea what The Favorite Sister is about. So we're going to read the little flap in here and find out if I want to read it or not. She'll have it all or die trying. Brett is dead and Kelly is not innocent. When two fiercely competitive sisters are cast on a reality TV show, one will benefit immensely. The other won't live through the taping. The producers of Gold Diggers, a popular reality TV show featuring successful young female entrepreneurs, expected season 4 to include grandstanding and backstabbing, alliances and betrayals, and catfights, both on and off the air. This is the formula that's yielded ratings gold and made the stars of Gold Diggers household names, but they did not expect Brett, fan favorite, to end up dead, nor that so many of the cast would have motives. The Favorite Sister follows 5 singular women, all with secrets, all with one thing in common: unbridled ambition in a world that forces women to make shrewd calculations for professional and personal gains. For fans of Gillian Flynn and Ruth Ware. I don't like either of those authors. Jessica Knoll follows up her best-selling debut, Luckiest Girl Alive, which I hated, with a story that shocks and upends expectation, turning her gimlet eye on the dissonance between the lonesome bonds of the feminist sisterhood and the realities of a culture that pits woman against woman, and sister against sister. Okay, so this one sounds great in the whole storyline, except for the reality TV show part. I hate reality TV. That's not true. I have guilty pleasures of reality TV sometimes, but I tend not to like reality TV. I think it's all fake. We all know it's all fake, but the storyline sounds so good. We're just gonna keep it. Then Little Lovely Things by Maureen Joyce Connolly. If only things had been different. It is the wrong time to get sick, speeding down the highway on the way to work, with her 2 little girls sleeping in the back, and she pulls off into a gas station, and then when she comes out of the bathroom, 3 minutes later? Oh, no. She passes out in the bathroom, and minutes later, she wakes up. Her car and her kids are gone. And she calls the police, they have no leads, and she is feeling immense guilt for leaving her kids in the car while she was getting sick, but now they're gone. So this one sounds great too, so I told you, thrillers, it's gonna be very hard for me to give up a thriller. So these are more thrillers. These are the ones that I have in mass market paperback, which I don't love mass market paperback, but once in a while, you find a book at a thrift store, or just a book that you've been really wanting, and it's mass market paperback, so you take it. Okay, so we have another Chevy Stevens book here. I'm going to ignore that it's Chevy Stevens, or try to, and just read the synopsis. So it's That Night, which sounds really good with those girls that night. That night, those girls still missing. Not quite. Doesn't work as well. Anyway, let's go. Tony Murphy had a life full of typical teenage complications. A boyfriend. Oh, yeah. Okay, I do know what this one's about, and I am very intrigued by it, so we are definitely keeping it. But it's about Tony and her boyfriend Ryan as teenagers were found guilty of killing her baby sister, and now it's 20 years later, and Ryan and Tony are out of prison, and she's going back to the small town where her sister died to find out what really happened to her sister. This one is Baby Doll by Holly Overton. I'm going to be keeping this one too. This is about a girl that was kidnapped, and she's been held hostage, or held captive, for 16 years until the person that kidnapped you is someone that you knew, someone that you trusted, someone that your family trusted. And then you realize that your captor has accidentally left your cell open. So, would you leave? I'm hoping Okay, so I read Room last year. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I kind of hope that it's kind of like in the same vein as that, but obviously it's going to be different because this is the person that's been held captive from their perspective. The other one was from the perspective of the child that grew up being held captive and they didn't know any better. So, yeah, I really want to read those. Honestly, I just got these because they're Stephen King and I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I never like anything that I read by him. So, I'm just gonna unhaul them. Unless I know about his book, like it's a popular book that I know a lot of information about, and I know that I'm super excited for it, I don't think I'm gonna keep getting Stephen King books because I keep getting so disappointed in them. Stephen King is just not the author for me. So far, I've read six novels by him, I think, and I've only liked one of them. So I'm going to continue to keep 11, 23, 66, 62. I don't even know. 11, 22, 63, 60. I don't remember. The one about JFK. And like It Plays with Time and stuff. I'm really excited for that one. It's on my TBR over there. But I'm just gonna give up. I officially give up on this author. Just not right for me, and that's okay. The Silence of the Lambs by Thomas Harris. This is definitely a book that I want to read, but I have, since buying this, I have realized that this is the second in a trilogy. So I want to get Red Dragon and read Red Dragon before this one. So for now, I'm unhauling it. Maybe I can get a better editions that's not mass market paperback when I get to that time that I'm gonna read it. And